The Sutra of Medicine Buddha, Part 2. Translated into English by the Shan International Translation Center. Read by Miao Guang from the Shan Institute of Humanistic Buddhism. Again, the Buddha said to Manjusri, "Even in one or more kalpas, I could not finish speaking of the magnificent vows the Medicine Buddha pledged while on the Bodhisattva path, nor fully describe the wonders of the pristine Buddha land he attained. I can tell you, this Buddha land is infinitely pure. There are no women's forms. The lower forms of rebirth or sounds of suffering. The land itself is made of pure crystal, with robes of gold bordering the paths. There are magnificent palaces and pavilions with spacious windows strung with nets, all made of the 7 precious gems. The virtue and magnificence of this Buddha land is no different from that of the Western Pure Land. In this Buddha realm, among the innumerable bodhisattvas, there are 2 bodhisattvas at the highest level, preceding Buddhahood. Their names are Radiant Sunlight Bodhisattva and Radiant Moonlight Bodhisattva. Both bodhisattvas are skillful in upholding the Medicine Buddha's Dharma. Thus, Manjusri, all good men and women who have confidence and faith should vow to be born in this Buddha land. Continuing in this manner, the world-honored one said to Manjusri, "There are sentient beings who do not know the difference between beneficial and harmful conduct. Bent on acquiring and maintaining advantages for themselves alone, they remain greedy and close-fisted, unaware of the beneficial fruit of giving. Ignorant and therefore lacking in any trust in the merit of giving, they desperately accumulate and guard their material riches. Thus, upon meeting a beggar, they experience suffering from the knowledge that they will receive nothing in return for their donation. So strong is their attachment to their riches that to part with even a portion is like parting with a portion of their own flesh." Manjusri, there are innumerable sentient beings who, being stingy and greedy, amass great resources and wealth. Yet they are incapable of enjoying that which they have accumulated for themselves, let alone sharing any of their wealth with parents, spouses, stewards, servants, or beggars. Those sentient beings who die in this frame of mind will be reborn in either the hungry ghost or animal realm. However, due to the fact that while in the human realm, they temporarily had the chance to hear the name of the Medicine Buddha. Upon remembering this Buddha's name, they shall immediately be reborn in the human realm. Influenced by the memory of that past life experience and the suffering of the lower realms, they are willing to forego the enjoyment of sensual pleasures and instead enter into activities of generosity, even praising the efforts of others who give. They are no longer attached to their possessions and are gradually willing to share parts of their bodies, if necessary, with any who request it, as well as the remainder of their wealth and possessions. And Manjusri, there are sentient beings who break the precepts even though they have received the Buddha's teachings about them. There are those who do not break the precepts per se, but they do, however, break rules and regulations pertaining to daily life. Then there are those who are successful in holding the precepts and adhering to the rules and regulations of daily life. But they do not have the right view. Some sentient beings have the right view, but waste or avoid the opportunity to further their learning and cannot encounter the deep and profound meaning of the Buddha's teachings. Others pursue opportunities to learn, but do so with an arrogant attitude. Because this conceit obscures their minds, they still consider themselves as right and others as wrong. This mindset leads them to criticize the Dharma and undermines their understanding of the truth. As they ignorantly slander the Dharma and incorrectly practice the Dharma, they harmfully influence others, causing them to fall into a dangerous pit. All these beings shall find themselves endlessly migrating in the lower realms. However, if these beings are able to hear the name of the Medicine Buddha of pure crystal radiance, they can give up their harmful practices and undertake all beneficial ones, no longer entering any lower realms. There are some who cannot immediately abandon their unwholesome practices and will drop into the lower realms. Here, through the power of the Buddha's vows, when they eventually hear the Buddha's name chanted even for a moment, their existence in the lower realms will end, and they will be reborn in the human realm. Then they will gain right view and right diligence, and properly attain the mind of joy. Thereupon, they are able to give up conventional living to initiate monastic life. They are capable of receiving and upholding the precepts without violation. By taking advantage of opportunities to hear the Dharma with the right view, they become capable of understanding it on a deep and profound level, no longer ignorantly slandering the Dharma and incorrectly practicing the Dharma. They gradually develop bodhisattva characteristics and quickly gain all-embracing completeness. Manjusri. If there are sentient beings who are stingy, greedy, jealous, boastful of themselves, and slanderous of others, they will fall into the 3 lower realms for innumerable thousands of years. After they have endured severe pain and suffering there, they will be born once again in the Saha world, but as cows, horses, camels, or donkeys. These animals must bear heavy loads and walk long distances. Constantly subjected to whipping, thirst, and hunger, they are driven to exhaustion and anguish. Or, such beings are born as humans, but must endure life in lowly, despicable states of existence. As the servants and slaves of people, they are constantly commanded to labor for others with no freedom for themselves. If, however, in former lives in the human realm, they have heard the name of the Medicine Buddha of pure crystal radiance and are able to remember it, they can wholeheartedly take refuge in the Buddha. Because of the strength of this Buddha's unique spiritual elan, they are liberated from all their sufferings. All their faculties are keen, and they are wise and learned, constantly seeking the superlative Dharma. They are able to meet beneficial friends who encourage their development of virtue. They forever cut the net of demons' entanglements, break through the shell of ignorance, and seize the river of deluded thoughts. They are set free from worry, suffering, agitation, birth, old age, illness, and death. Again, Manjushri, if there are sentient beings who are habitually contrary and divisive, who engage in fighting and litigation, aggravating and disturbing both self and others by means of body, speech, and mind, these beings increase the occurrence of malevolent deeds. They call upon the spirits that reside in mountains, forests, trees, or tombs, such as yakshas or rakshas, who in turn may slay animals and offer up their blood and flesh in an act of sacrificial worship. Then these sentient beings write the name of the person they hold a grudge against and make an image in his or her likeness, using wizardry to cast a curse upon it. They engage in sorcery and use magical potions to harm the subject of their evil practices. They even use spells to raise the dead who, at their bidding, harm or kill the intended victim. However, if in the midst of harming by such means, they hear the name of the Medicine Buddha of pure crystal radiance, all their vicious intentions will no longer have a harmful effect. Gradually, the compassionate mind will arise in the perpetrator and their victims, benefiting both with the presence of peace and joy. With the mind of hatred, destruction, and harm no longer present, each individual is happy and content with what he or she has received in its place. They no longer consider it necessary to abuse or invade one another, but instead find abundant mutual benefit. Again, Manjushri, concerning the bhiksu and bhikshuni, layman and laywoman, and good men and women of pure faith, if they receive and uphold the 8 purification precepts for 1 year or even for 3 months, they will have established good roots. Due to their cultivation, they wish to be reborn in Amitabha Buddha's pure land of ultimate bliss in order to hear and learn the correct Dharma. However, they may not have yet fully developed the necessary resolve to be reborn there. In this circumstance, when they approach the end of life, if they hear the name of the Medicine Buddha, 8 great bodhisattvas will come to their aid. Manjusri Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Maha Bodhisattva of great power to heal and save, Unlimited Intention Bodhisattva, Treasure of Sandalwood Flower Bodhisattva, the Medicine King Bodhisattva, the Supreme Medicine Bodhisattva, and Maitreya Bodhisattva. Gliding through the sky, they show these beings the path to the pure land of numerous precious multicolored blossoms, where each is instantly reborn in the heart of the flowers.